Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon if you are in another place in the world. My name is Vitor Tomé, and I would like, first of all, to thank you, Dr. Flores Charles, for the invitation to participate in this conference and have the opportunity to share with you some of the research that we have been developing in Portugal. Today, our talk, and in the meantime, if you allow me, I'll try to share my screen with you. Our talk, I was telling you, is focused on teacher training in media education, the urgence of algorithm literacy. And I would like to explain you a little bit why we developed this research. Is a research focused on the teacher training that we developed since 2008. And we will focus on 6 different areas, namely the main topics of the training, the format of these trainings, the resources we use, the type of resources, then how did we assess these trainings, and then how we produce results and how were the results disseminated. Finally, we'll conclude with lessons learned and 3 ideas that, in our opinion, summarize our work. So, having in mind the topics when we started in 2008, the media most present in schools was the school newspaper. And so we decided to train teachers on school newspapers, how to produce school newspapers, uh, either printed or online. And also, these trainings were crucial to speak about media education. What is media education? What is media education theory? What are the other main concepts that are related with media education? Then we started to training teachers in media, social media, and democratic participation in 2012 because the social media were really important already by this time. And we moved forward to digital citizenship education. In 2016, focused on very young children since the research showed us that most of the research projects were focused on children aged 9 and plus. So the idea was to start with very young children, and we did it in 2016-17. We developed a project with teachers, preschool teachers, and primary school teachers that we continue to develop until 2023. The fourth main topic was how to produce media education projects in schools and communities. And this was developed since 2018. And in 2020, we were able to develop a media education project, a community project focused on STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and media literacy. But we also discussed media education. We continue training teachers in digital citizenship education and in copyright. And nowadays, from 2022 on, disinformation is the main topic, namely focused on online risks and opportunities. Disinformation as a risk, information as an opportunity. And we are now preparing trainings real focused on algorithm literacy and artificial intelligence. In terms of format, the training started with 25 hours, courses of 25 hours, but teachers decided now, especially after the pandemic, they are more interested in other formats, namely trainings in media education that have 25 hours face to face, but also other trainings of that last for 15 hours online or 6 hours online. So it means that some teachers prefer hybrid training. And this is also an evolution that according to our data, is related with the pandemic and the changes that the pandemic provoked. In terms of resources, the first trainings We use especially external resources produced in other countries, for instance, by the Center of Media Literacy in the United States or the UNESCO curriculum for teachers. But the main problem was in 2008 the lack of validated resources. So we started validating some resources in 2012 and to involving also teachers in lesson plans production. This was interesting because we're still doing this activity. Uh, Nevertheless, in 2016-17, we start using important models of empowering citizens, such as those developed by the Council of Europe, the European Commission, the UNESCO, and the OECD. And we also learn a lot from these projects, and we start using the resources produced by these projects. In 2018, we produced a special set with the templates to develop projects and activities related with media education, with digital citizenship education. And we also produced a trainer's pack and a handbook for teachers at the Council of Europe that was really important to train teachers and to help them, to support them developing projects in schools and communities. The same happened in 2020, 2021, when we were working focused on STEAM and media literacy, and we decided to apply recommendations from international projects. We also used media education uh, as it was proposed by the Ministry of Education. And we start using repositories, online repositories that started being available, especially after 2020 and during the pandemic. In 2022, 2023, we produced our own manuals here in Portugal and Spain. And these manuals are in Portuguese and in Spanish, of course. Manuals for teachers and manuals for trainers. We also are using documents from ministries of education and some tools that are available online in order to identify and to tackle the dissemination of disinformation. Uh, in terms of assessment, we started using very traditional tools to assess these trainings. And now we have a model, but these first tools were mainly satisfaction surveys. We asked the teachers to produce the simple final reports explaining how the training were interesting or not for them and why, and we start also helping them and supporting them producing media education activities. We continue with this strategy into 2012, 2015, but we had reports on practices, and we asked the teachers to collect data from students. And this was interesting because the trainings start being research projects, mini research projects that allowed us to produce then more resources, for instance, as lesson plans. And we were able this way to develop a teacher training assessment model that we are using since 2018. In 2020, we applied the theory of change developed by the OECD, and nowadays we are using pre-test and post-test questionnaires in all the trainings. Either they are printed, or they are online, or they are face to face. That said, in terms of assessment tools, we produce results and results on media education, curricular professional development and media education. And the results, according to our data, were not so important in 2008, 2011, but they are now important. There is a huge interest in terms of what are teachers learning, what are teachers producing during trainings, and what are they discussing with their students? What are the students doing after this training. So what are teachers learning that they can apply in pedagogical terms in their classrooms, in their schools, developing projects and media education activities. They nowadays teachers are really, really more experienced and they are keen to develop these projects focused on media education. Their interests, current interests, are more focused on disinformation, but they still are uh, interested in other topics that they discussed before, they were trained before. For instance, social media, digital citizenship, team, and how to produce projects. In terms of lessons learned from these 17 years in a row training teachers, we conclude that in terms of topics, the evolution was from school newspapers to disinformation and now to AI and algorithm literacy. The format, the preferred format was for face-to-face, and today, nowadays, it's hybrid formats of 20 hours or 6 hours, or also trainings that are fully online. The resources were more external, and now we are producing our own resources and some outputs too that come from the trainings, namely lesson plans. The assessment was really traditional, and nowadays we are using pre-test and post-test and develop a grounded theory model. In terms of dissemination, media education, curriculum, professional development is nowadays really interesting, really more that collects more interested than ever before. Uh, to conclude, allow me to share three main ideas. In our idea, teachers are able to develop media literacy activities. They are keen to develop these activities, but involving their pupils and their local communities. They are able to use traditional and digital technologies, and when they are not available, they ask the students in a way of we can call, and that is usual, for instance, in the United States, bring your own device. So teachers are able to develop these activities and then to share these activities with their colleagues, which is really, really important. These activities and projects are more easily and faster when the school board is involved. Okay, when the school board or at least someone from the school board is part of the training or is supporting teachers that are developing their projects during the training and after the training, of course. And finally, we would like to share that a culture of assessment is key. So it's important to assess trainings from the very beginning until the end. And now, three main ideas. So media education, curriculum, professional development should be planned as a key process and not a one-shot intervention. So it means that it's a process that is developing, for instance, throughout the school year, and not only a session that takes place in a specific moment of 2 or 3 hours. This training should be implemented and monitored, and the projects also should be monitored because teachers need support to continue their projects and to involve and keep involving their students and their colleagues. And finally, it's important to plan these activities as ecological. This means including, for instance, artificial intelligence and algorithm literacy, which is the main topic that teachers are really, really interested nowadays, but without excluding the former topics that were associated with education, media education 1.0, because many educators, even though they are interested in artificial intelligence and algorithm literacy, they need to start with main concepts of media education because they have not yet progressed beyond the level of media education 1.0. This was my talk today. Thank you very much for your interest, and of course, I will be available to be contacted and to answer your questions if you have it. Thank you very much again, and hope to see you soon. Obrigado.